So after a good result against Hull in the week, Wednesday travelled to Derby this weekend, hoping to make it 6 points out of 6. Not got best record at Derby, have we? We're looking at stats before the game. Last league win there, 2006. 2006. I'd got air. And apparently, and I don't know if it's right, I didn't check, but somebody told me earlier that we, one league win there since 1958. I find that hard to believe in league. That said, every time I think about Derby, all I can think of is Bobby Ian Davison. That seems, and that's years ago, but it's imprinted in my brain. Distracting me, son. Let's have a quick look at the teams. Derby County with a 4-1-4-1, Zetterstrom in goal, a back four of Wilson, Nelson, Cashin and Forsyth, Osborne in that holding position between the lines, Mendes Lang, Adams, Thompson and Harness completing the midfield, Eddie Yates up top. I know it's not his real name, shut this up. As for the Wednesday, very fluid formation today, but we'll put it like this for the start off. Beadle in goal, a back three of Valerie, Iofa and Lowe, midfield of Valentin, Charles, Bannon and Johnson, and a front three of Masaba, Smith and Gassama. Now I've written that team down there, that Wednesday team, as a 5-2-3. The thing is today, Wednesday was so fluid in the formation. I'm not saying it was a fluid performance by any means, but a fluid formation, and it kept changing and there were times in there it would have back four, sometimes it were three midfield, sometimes it were four, but just to get it down on paper, for the first 5 minutes, that's how I had it. It changed after about 10, but there we go. A very bright start from Derby County. They really tried to get us on back foot from off. I'm a little bit surprised, seeing where they are in the table. Weren't expecting too much. I know we never get an easy ride there, but I was surprised how quickly they started. They were getting the ball wide. They were causing Wednesday lots of problems. Mendes Lang, obviously, ex-Wednesday low knee down that right-hand side, and the lad down left-hand side, Harness, I think he was at Portsmouth. Is that the same kid? He was causing Valentin and Valerie all sorts of problems down there, and this is all in the first sort of 5-10 minutes, and I'm thinking, especially with our record there, I'm thinking, well, this could be a long afternoon here, do you know what I mean? And so it proved with a goal in 8 minutes. Like I was just saying, they'd started, they were looking really dangerous in them wide areas, and their goal actually highlights that perfectly, because it comes down the right hand side with Mendes Lang. Inside it, middle to Yates. There's a little bit of a mix up with him and other kid actually. I thought they cocked it up, but they managed to get it out to the left then. Harness whips a ball in, and Adams is in the right place to tuck it on for 1-0. And you've got to be honest, it'd been coming. That first 10 minutes, it was all Derby. Wednesday were reeling a little bit, to be honest with you. We couldn't get a grip on ball. They were really forcing issue, and then it's probably after about 10 minutes, just after goal, I'm looking, and I thought, well, we've gone to a back four now, and I think that was possibly to try and keep an eye on their wingers, because they were causing us some serious problems in there. Mendes Lang, he drifted inside. He had a shot from about 20 odd yards, good palm away by Beadle in there. Actually, I think Beadle's probably won us points today. We'll come to goals later. It made a massive part, and Beadle's had, for all Derby's pressured and everything, he's probably only had 2 or 3 saves to make, Beadle, but they were absolutely vital points in game. Wednesday we were struggling to get a foothold in game. What really stuck in my mind, especially that first half, when we did get the ball, we were so sloppy with our possession. Under-hitting passes is something that drives me insane. Today we were probably accused of over-hitting passes so many times. We were trying to find a pass and it were going out of play for a throw-in. It was insane. They were really putting pressure on. That Forsyth, he drifted up from left back. He blazed one off at bar. I think he probably should have been testing Beadle from there, actually. They were really turning screw on us, and at 1-0, I thought if they get a second goal here, to be perfectly honest with you, I think it's probably curtains. Charles were okay. Everyone else, the touch, whatever. It's balls bouncing off folks like they're made out of concrete. You know, there's no cushion on receiving at ball, and when we're making passes, we're trying to sort of force the issue, which can happen when you're under pressure. Sometimes you can force your passes out. And we were really struggling to get a foothold, but luckily for us, I would say about 15-20 minutes the game entered a sort of scrappy stage, which did us a massive favour, because I'd said just before that they were having a spell. They'd got the goal, the confidence were up, they'd had a good start anyway. Obviously they got the home fans on side who've not particularly been with him last few weeks. Obviously there's some talks about Paul warning amongst supporters, but positive start, crowd behind him, a goal, and suddenly they start, they've been playing 1 and 2 touch stuff, and I thought, here we go. But then the game lulled into this sort of scrappy period up to about half an hour mark. And from then, Wednesday started having the odd decent break. I'm not going to say brilliant break, because there were no bones about it. We were really, really poor first half. As good as Derby were, I genuinely think that's the worst I've seen Wednesday with ball all season, that first half. Even in games where we've got pasted, there's been a couple of pastings along the way. But our lack of care with ball that first half is the worst I've seen. But like I said, there was a little scrappy spell, did us a favour, and there were 1 or 2 little sort of half breaks where, although we didn't particularly create any proper opportunities, I wouldn't say, we did actually get the ball further up the field and give a little bit of respite to back 4 or back 3 or back 5. Probably Wednesday's only good real moment of the first half for me, probably about half an hour in, and it's the best pass that we've made in the entire half. Marvin Johnson advances down left hand side, absolutely insidious cross into box, begging for a touch. Smithy's sliding in, their kid puts it away for a corner, and that was it. We had a couple of corners, put them in, come to nothing, but that pass from Johnson, that low cross from left hand side first half, it's really only time when I was sort of like, oh, and that was it. It was a really poor half of football from us. Sat there at half time and I'm thinking, well, what can Wednesday do? What can Wednesday do? And the thing that had stuck in my mind, because we were poor, we were very poor, and players will tell you that, players know when they've had a stinker, and I'm sure after today's game they'll all say, that's one of the worst performances I've put in. But you're looking at what can Wednesday do, and one of the things for me was, and it's basics, second ball. Derby were the first to every second ball, and it was blatant. See, the number of times you can talk about having unlucky bounces, It's not always an unlucky bounce if the opposition players anticipated, because, it can spin in different directions or whatever, but they were always in on it, Derby. They were always in on it. They got that 3 midfield there with Osborne sitting in that slightly deeper role. And that was the second thing I thought we needed to look at, because Derby did have plenty of ball. The most dangerous work they did come from wide areas, but the ball got worked into them wide areas from the beginning, because they got that Osborne just sat in front of their back 4, and it was just going through him. He will come in, he's having it, he's playing a little wall pass out to a full back, he's having it back again, then it's out to a wing. And I just thought, really, we'd got that front 3 of Masaba, Smith and Gassama, and I thought it was just giving us too much to do at Middle at Park. We'd got Charles in there, he's done okay, but I thought Bannon, I'd say that's probably the worst I've seen from him in 2 or 3 years at first half. But that Osborne were just getting so much time on ball, and whilst he weren't being showy, and probably not a player where somebody's going to go, oh, he was fantastic today. For me personally, I just thought everything was going through him, doing the easy bits, and then getting it out wide where they're the players who'll probably take the credit. But yeah, good bright start from Derby, terrible start from Wednesday, and like I said, a couple of little sort of sporadic half breaks 5 minutes before half time. Palmer and Windass coming at half time. I was pleased with that, because I thought I thought Dom was struggling a bit in centre at 3. I don't think it particularly suits him in there. I think if you're playing a 3, Dom's got to go right to that. So I can see why Danny had switched it to a back 4 after about 10-15 minutes. Because I think as centre half, I think Dom looks more comfortable in a 2. Or if he's in a 3 on the right hand side at 3. And Windass coming on, I was pleased about that because I thought we'd missed him. I don't want to slag young kids off, but Gassama and Masaba, that first half, and large spells at second, if I'm perfectly honest, the decision making, there's a bit that sticks in my mind in the second half is I think it was Masaba. He sets off on a mazy run down right inside right channel, but I forgot to take ball with him. So as I said, when Windass come in, I thought, great, what we need, because his link plays a little bit better, he does find pockets of space, as he sort of them. I've got to be honest, when he come on, I thought even he looked rusty, you know. The turning point of the game for me, 53 minutes, they fashioned another opportunity, because they came out and started second half derby like they started first half. Clearly, they thought the game were there for the taking, and if they can get that second goal, probably finishes us off. And that Yates, he's got to score that. But this is where it's a turning point in the game, because it's an absolutely fantastic save from Beadle, and for me, the entire game hinges on that save. It really does, because if that goes in, it is game over. It's just after that save, actually, that Danny makes another change, substitution. Lowe comes on for Gassama, fully understandable. What's probably less understandable for me is that I don't know why Lowe's not getting more starts. He's vastly experienced, and he's got a bit more of that. It's knowledge. It's not against the kids, you know, they're young, they're learning the trade, and we know what it's going to be with him. We know it's going to be, you know, messy one week and very, very messy the week after. Do you know what I mean? The inconsistency is going to be there. But that's why I can't understand why Lowe's not starting more games. He's got that little bit of game intelligence about him. So Lowe comes on. Good substitution for me, that. And I think it just adds that little bit more quality in the way that we use the ball, because today, I know we've won the game and I don't want to seem negative. I'm delighted we've won. But it really is a smash and grab, because our use of the ball has been so poor today. They hit the crossbar. I think it's Adams. Yeah, Adams. Cross comes in, right inside, I think, corner. Bullet's header off bar. I think Beadle's beaten there. There's nothing we can do about that. And then I think it's Yates again who gets in on second ball and heads over. And they've had opportunities to really put us to bed. And it's painful to say as a Wednesday fan, but at that stage, if it had been 2 or 3-0, it wouldn't have really flattered Derby, because we really weren't at the races. Games pivot on little moments, so 3 minutes after that miss, Wednesday back in the game, birthday boy Barry Bannon. Oh, as I said earlier, I think that's probably one of the worst performances I've ever seen from Barry Bannon. I don't honestly, he's passing with all over the show. He couldn't seem to get in game and dictate it in the way that we know that he can. It's a ball in from our right hand side, and their keeper will be going mad because he got it. Their keeper were coming for it, and his own defenders got in front of him and cleared it out of the way. And what a finish! I know any goal from distance looks spectacular, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, what a spank!" But when you watch it back, it's not a spank. He don't spank it. It comes out, and this is where Baz has got that bit of quality. You know, he's had a poor game, but still got that intelligence up there. He don't just twat it. He has a touch. He makes sure it's under control. He puts it into a nice area in front of him. And when he whips it round there, like I said, he doesn't smash that. It's a nice curled loft, keepers off his line, and it's sort of round him and above him. It's an absolutely fantastic goal. I'm describing it quite calmly now, going bloody mad at time. You know, it's a fantastic finish. And then the atmosphere there, because obviously they're having a bad time. I think it's 1 win in 9, something like that. I think they've only beat Plymouth. And that's what it's like as a fan base. We've seen it a lot of times at Hillsbury. Games could be going well, you can be playing well. As soon as you that goal behind, you're like, here we go again. You know, typical Wednesday. And that was the sort of atmosphere that you were getting from Derby fans today. Typical Derby. Fantastic goal from Bannon, gets us back in the game, lifts everybody. We'll talk about substitutions and the impact that they have. Danny's made substitutions today, they've made a positive impact. Jamal Lowe's come on, adds that little bit of intelligence now. He's got intelligent feet to go with an intelligent brain, if you know what I mean. Pato's come on for Smithy, who I was surprised because I really fancied Smithy today. You know, obviously Ugbo's out injured, and I thought proper game for Smithy. This didn't look his usual self. But as I said, positive substitution. Pato's come on, absolute beast mode. Reminded me a lot of that Norwich appearance last season when he came on and turned game. Edders, he will challenge for anything in there. I love Patterson. Well, anyone who watches this channel regular will know that anyway. I love Patterson. If you've got, and I'll say this time and again, if you've got a team of 11 Pattersons, you would win more games than you lose. Might not always be pretty, but you would win more than you lose. Impact. And equally, around about the same time that we're bringing Patterson on, Paul Warne takes off Mendes, Lang and Harness. And they switch from a back 4 to a back 3. And I found that utterly bizarre. They'd caused us so many problems out wide, Harness and Mendes, Lang. And I thought if they were going to go on and get their second goal, it would be from a ball from a wide area. They'd look pretty solid at back. We'd not really tested them at all. Wednesday's goal is a wonder goal from Barry Bannon. And like I said, they switched to a back 3, gone 2 up top and took off 2 really, really lively wingers. So like I said, the impact of substitutions, really good substitutions from Wednesday and switches. And I've got to say, I think there's question marks about the switches that they made Derby. It's end to end. You know, both teams obviously feel like they can win it. Charles makes a fantastic block end. About 5 minutes before end, is that like Yates again? He sort of dropped in as a covered centre half, you know, young lad. He's going to have a great future, him. It's just, I find myself sitting there in these quiet moments thinking, I wish we could afford him. I wish we could afford him full time. He's exactly the sort of player I'd love to say, come and sign for us, son. Here's a 5-6 year contract and we have got to start looking at midfield. Daft as it sounds, in the next few years. You know, Baz's birthday capped it off with a wonderful goal, but he's not going to last forever. You've got to start looking at that area. I think another catalyst, ironically enough, though, we're talking about that midfield area. Chalobah, he's come off the bench. We've hardly, I'd almost forgot he was at club, which is a shame because I was dead excited when he come because he did this little thing. So he came on in that midfield area, and I felt that for the first time in the entire game, because like I said, for 60, 70 minutes, Wednesday were poor. Really, really poor. Make no bones about it. This is a smash and grab win. We'll take it. Delighted with 3 points. 6 points in a week. Brilliant. It was a really poor performance. But when he came on, that bit of stature in there. Basic stuff, no out of ordinary, but when a team's playing badly, if you've got players who can come on and do basic stuff very well, it stands out like a beacon. Win, give, go, have. Give, go. Simple stuff. Effective football. When things aren't going well for you, break it down. right, let me just start doing basic things as well as I can, rather than overcomplicate. Right, I'm having a shit game, I'm going to try being 8 men and make up for it. No, simple stuff. He did that. Really impressive little cameo. I hope he can build on that, because Barry Bannon, that's the other thing from the game today, he got picked up a yellow card in first half, so he's going to be missing Preston game. So to have Chalobah back in and around and building his match fitness up, I think that's going to be vital. That 3 minutes, winner for Wednesday. I mean, there's Patterson wins a foul in our half, gets up there, big punt, who's there? Pato again, heads it on. There's a bit of pinball in there. Windass has a shot blocked, and then when it squirms out wide, Pato's there. And I talked about this at Hull City, where I was impressed. Masaba seemed to have been doing the simpler things better. Reverted back to type today with overcomplicating it. Don't fanny about Pato. Gets after it. Doesn't even look. No clock's ticking down. Gets after it as quick as he can and just puts it straight across. First time. Don't even look who's there. He just gets after it and thinks, I'm going to put a ball in a dangerous area. And if anybody's got half a fucking brain cell, they'll be in there. And Jamal Lowe has got a brain cell, and he was in there 2-1 the Wednesday. The match. It's a wonderful goal from Bannon, and there's nothing like a last minute winner. But I won't mind if I never saw that game again, because that was as poor a performance as I've seen in a long time. Charles were okay. I thought not his best game, but as a young lad, he's played a lot of football. Obviously, he's now international captain for his country and all. And young lad, he's not going to be at the supreme level every week. Prime level. Baz were off it. Marv put one good ball in it first half. He did okay against Mendes Lang. Everyone else, I thought it looked a bit of a struggle out there today. I've genuinely got to say, I think the substitutes were the players that stand out. Baz will probably win it for goal, to be fair, and it was his birthday, but for me, Chalobah, Lowe, Patterson, I'd genuinely get one of them, because I thought the impact of them gave us something that we'd not had for previous 70 minutes, which was a footholding game. We actually started to get a bit of ball in midfield area and move it. We actually start to cause then some problems. Obviously, Patterson comes in, he's got that physicality, he'll bash centre halves about, he'll win headers, Pato will win a flick on and then get after it himself, you know what I mean? He's playing a twin partnership on his own. He's one of them, isn't he? He's playing Toshak and Keegan at the same time. Yeah, I'd get 200 subs. In fact, fuck it, I will. I'll get Pato. Impact, huge impact on game. A Derby fan at work, we've been chatting about game, and I was saying, never in doubt that, because when you look at the away form table, Wednesday's actually top of it. So now we've got Preston at home on Saturday. Another stupid kick-off time. Saturday, 3 o'clock. What's with that? Anyway, Barry Bannon will be suspended. That's why I'm delighted. Chalobah's coming today, and I thought looked the part, to be honest with you. When we signed him in summer, I was like, have we got him? Because maybe the injury record is why we've got him, because, we've hardly seen a shadow of a lad. But steps in the right direction today. If he can come in, that'd be good timing with him, hitting his stride with Bannon suspended. And amazingly, not amazingly when you look at the form table, because the form table, you're like, oh, Wednesday are quite good, aren't they? But certainly when you see a performance like that this afternoon, it might seem amazing that we're only 5 points outside playoffs. Now, I'm not saying we're going to make the playoffs. I'm not saying that at all. Championships, we've played crap today and won. there'll be games where we play really, really well and lose. That's the nature of Championship. But it's something to aim for. I'm not saying we'll do it. I'm not saying we'll get there, but you've got to aim for it. If we can aim to keep clawing that back and say, yeah, top 6, aim for it. If we fall short, we fall short. And I think most realistic Wednesday fans would take mid-table, but that's what you've got to aim for, especially when you're in touching distance, and it gives you something to claw at and a little target to focus on. So, good performance at Hull, shocking performance at Derby, 3 points from both, so who cares? And now, I'm not going to say an easy run, but a run where we can look at it and say, yeah, there's more points up for grabs here. Very much looking forward to the festive period.